We have a number of things we're going to do. We have tributes that we're going to have from the children and from the grandchildren. A little bit later on, we'll have an opportunity for you to say something to Grandma if you like. We have two microphones here, one up here, and then we have another microphone that we will allow to go into the audience here, so you can maybe make a little table tribute later if you want to say something. We also have Thelma Oxness with us right here. Thelma, would you? I'm sorry, Thelma Sarver. So, will you stand up, Thelma? Thelma Sarver. Sarver, I'm sorry. Thanks for coming. And for those of you who do not know, we also have 5 generations in this room today.
Just a closer walk with thee, granted Jesus is my plea.
One of Mom's favorite songs. Thank you, Mike. Dean says that I should introduce our families, so I think I will. Where's my lovely wife, Sherry? Stand up. Hi, darling. Stand up. Sherry. My son Gregory's on the camera right here. Hi, Greg. Sophomore at Mount Tahoma High School. And Kristen is somewhere around here. Where's Kristen? Sherry, where's your daughter? Hi, Kristen. You're right here. You know, it's amazing how you can't see anyone when you're here. You know? Kristen, that's my family. Dean?
Thanks, Darren. By the way, I am the baby of the family. He's 5 minutes older than me, so. He kidded me about that for years. I'd like to introduce my wife, Kathy. Stand up, please. And Kathy's family is actually over here, many of them from California. Her mom and dad are here, and several other aunts and uncles and cousins, the Pollards. And let's see, where's my son, Derek? Derek is he's a sophomore at Ellensburg, Central Washington College. And then Stacy. This is my daughter, Stacy. She's a junior at Stoughton High School.
And my son, Donnie, is home from college. And my daughter, Laurie. Laurie's husband is here also, and this is Tim.
My husband.
Well, how many grandkids? That's a good question. How many grandkids altogether
Are here.
are here?
Do you have? How many do you have?
How many grandkids do you have, Dolores?
Oh,
They count the legs in the back, they do.
Count the legs. Words of wisdom there from Noel. Count the legs and divide by 2. That's good. It's a safe answer, Noel. It's a very safe answer.
there's probably 12.
About 12, okay.
And then we got the great grandkids.
Then you have the great-grandkids, too.
Yeah.
One of my mother's favorite songs is a song called My Cup Runneth Over. And it was recorded by Ed Ames in 1967. This song reached number 8 on the Billboard charts. So we're going to start out with the first verse of that song, and then we're going to move into a Norwegian song. So if you don't understand Norwegian, just kind of hum along if you want to, because it will be in Norwegian. Now there'll be some Norwegian names in there. And this song was written, the Norwegian song was written by Ole Breding, my grandfather, and it's a real cute song. You'll find it in the Breding book if you get a chance to look at this book a little bit later. So at this time,
These are on sale.
those are not on sale.
Everybody join in.
Hey, Sarah, Sarah.
Old people, come on.
Whatever will be, will be Sometimes in the evening, when you do not see, I study the small things you do constantly. I memorize moments that I'm fondest of. My cup runneth over with love. In only a moment, we both will be old. We won't even notice the world turning cold. And so in this moment, with sunlight above, my cup runneth over with love. Tell you about my baby. You know, she comes around. She's about 5'4", from her head to the ground. And her name is G-L-O-R-I.
Wait a minute, stop the music, stop. Darren.
What?
Darren, Gloria was your first girlfriend, but Mom never really approved of her too much.
Well, I approved of her.
Well, just for today, can't you think of something a little bit more appropriate, just for today?
Just for today? More appropriate?
More appropriate.
What do you think,
Something.
Ty?
Okay.
Sherry, baby. Sherry, can you come out tonight? Sherry, baby. Sherry, can I come home tonight? Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, and finally I said, Mom, listen, is there anything you need? Can I take you to the store? And she kind of swallowed hard and she said, well, Dean, I guess there's a few things I could use. We went to the store and after that she pretty much accepted it. But anyway, Mom, that's my little story for you. We love you. Happy birthday.
A handshake is always better than a kiss.
Depends.
It depends, Noel said. How do you say thank you? By Darren Lamb. I spent a lot of time on this. How do you say thank you to a mother so caring, who spends most of her time sacrificing and sharing? Raised in the Midwest, let's make no mistake, from North Dakota in Powers Lake. You keep us together, our family you are heading. Charles made you a lamb, you once were a breading. And so I must ask from the bottom of my heart, how do we say thank you, and where do we start? You raised us from kids, we turned out all right. You fed us, you bathed us, you broke up our fights. You cooked and you cleaned, you mended our clothes. And when I got sick, you wiped my little nose. You've always been kind and so generous too. Thank you for teaching me to tie my own shoe. You gave me lunch money and got me through school and helped with my homework, your golden rule. I have such good memories of all this euphoria. Mom, do you remember my first girlfriend, Gloria?
I think we all do.
You worried at night if I'd come home late from running around on some late evening date. We'll never repay you for all that you've done. You're a giver, not a taker. Yes, you're number one. How do we say thank you? You've given so much. Thank you for calling. You're always in touch. You brought in the groceries. You took out the trash. You opened your wallet when we needed cash. You guided my thinking with your special ways and sent all those letters in my Air Force days. You told me, now son, hit for a high goal. Give it your best with your heart and soul. Well, I think I will make it. I think I just might. At least I can read. At least I can write. Yes, Noel was right in the story he told. When they made dear grandma, they broke the mold. We throw you this party, your friends come to call. Now you're Cinderella, and this is your ball. And now that you're gaining in age by 1 year, perhaps we should holler, perhaps we should cheer. You're strong yet you're gentle, so sit straight and tall. I wouldn't be surprised if you outlived us all. You gave us your values, I learned them at last. I now buy groceries and take out the trash. So thank you for taking us over roads that were windy. Happy birthday, Mom. Good heavens, you're 90.
It's called That Very Special Grandma. That very special grandma is sitting here today. She is very good to me in more than just one way. You make a lot of potato cakes. You cut them out of dough. Every time I eat a bunch, I always want one more. I love the things you do for me and stories that you tell. I'm glad that you're my grandma. I think you are just swell. You always win at Scrabble. I try my very best. Someday I will learn new words and put you to the test. Grandma, you're that special one. I send you hugs and kisses. I hope this day will bring you joy, 'cause that is what my wish is. Grandma, you're so very kind. You always say nice things. You're my special angel. To me, you've earned your wings. I hope you have enjoyed these words. I wrote them down for you. This poem comes with all my love and happiness too. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Thank you, Kristen. Donnie?
Well,
we can get a mic to you. Okay.
I didn't write a poem or write a song or anything, but I just wanted to thank Grandma for being there for the grandkids too. Because sorry.
That's okay, Donnie. I understand.
I've gone to Grandma with some hard stuff that I didn't know what else to go to. And I'll never forget that. And it's also your fault that my friends think it's weird because I like uncooked cookies and pickles for lunch.
I think Derek is the tallest person in this room today.
If I was a little shorter, I could probably hide behind the podium, but I guess no luck, huh? I didn't write a poem, but I did write down some of my thoughts that I had for Grandma last night, and I don't know how qualified I am to speak about Grandma, since I've only known her for such a brief portion of her 90 years. I can only speak from my personal experience with Grandma, my personal impressions. My earliest memories of Grandma were walking into her house and being showered with chocolate treats and gingerbread cookies, warm, soft hugs and kisses. I was only about 3 or 4 at the time, but I remember looking up at her sparkling blue eyes and comforting smile and thinking that she must be an angel. To this day, my opinion of Grandma has not changed. If anything, my original impression has grown stronger. As I began to recognize the ugliness and filth that often show themselves in the real world, she stands alone as a vision of beauty and light, an image of everything that is good and holy and right with the world. My grandmother is loving and kind. She always goes out of her way for her friends and family, even though at times we may not deserve it. She always puts other people's needs ahead of her own, and she always takes time out to make sure we all know how much she cares about us, often giving away gifts that we know she can't reasonably afford. She has such a deep capacity for love, though. She does it anyways. My grandmother has a heart of gold. My grandmother is patient and understanding. When people come to her with their problems, she listens without prejudice or passing judgment. She ignores all of our faults and inequities and accepts each individual for who they truly are, rather than who she wants them to be. I've never heard my grandmother utter a harsh word about anyone, and she always makes it her business to make sure that her family is doing okay. She comforts us when we are weak and cheers us to victory when we have strength. My grandmother is a good friend and teacher. My grandmother is strong and independent. At the age of 90, she is still a strong-willed, quick-witted, resourceful woman. Although she loves her friends and family dearly, she enjoys living on her own, having her personal space, and taking care of herself. Although we've tried, Grandma wouldn't dream of living with someone else or letting them take care of her. My grandmother lived through the Great Depression, the women's right to vote movement, 2 world wars, countless presidents, and the technological revolution, including the advent of TV, automobiles, and airplanes. Most of us can only imagine what this would be like. My grandmother is rich with life experience. My grandmother is beautiful. Not only physically so, but spiritually and emotionally. She always has just the right words for the prayer before supper, and is a fiercely competitive Scrabble player. She loves her soap operas, and her day would not be complete without catching the latest episode of General Hospital. She loves to have visitors and always has freshly baked snacks and cold beverages for them when they arrive, and remembers to wave goodbye from the window as they drive off. At the age of 90, my grandma always looks presentable as she goes out, making sure her hair is nice and she dresses appropriately. She is quite simply the most precious, beautiful person I have ever met, and I only hope that I've inherited a portion of her inspirational heart and soul. Grandma, I'm glad I could share this special day with you, and I want you to know that I love you and admire you immensely, even though I may not be around to show it. I have a tremendous amount of respect for you and your life. You are, to me, an example of how good and kind we are all capable of being. Everywhere I go, everyone I meet, and everything I accomplish in my life, I will carry a piece of you around with me. Thank you for everything, and God willing, my children and I, and everyone else here, will gather again in 10 years to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of your birth. I love you.
Stacy.
How do you follow that up? I just wrote this morning, so it's not like extravagant like these other people's ones. It's just something what Grandma means to me. A simple smile, her simple laugh that warms the coolest night. Her sweetness surrounds not only her, but everyone in sight. Her inspiring stories, her hair all a curl, challenging Scrabble games. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't change her for the world. She's the sweetest, nicest woman I know. I could ask for no other, so join us and let's celebrate her birth, her life, her 90th, my grandmother.
love all these kisses I get today. Thank you, Stace.
Well, what I'm going to say is that when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I was thinking about growing up and having a family of my own when the other kids stopped playing. I don't know whether there's something wrong with me or what, but it turned out pretty good. And then I got to hearing all these stories that they had about these bad mother-in-laws, you know, the bad jokes and stuff, and that worried the heck out of me. But after being married to her daughter for 49 years, I found out her words for nothing. She's the best darn mother-in-law in the whole world. And the best lady. She's a very grand lady, and I love her. Thank you.
Speaking of Scrabble, boy, you know, I thought, about 5 years ago, my sister invited me down for an afternoon. So I said, boy, you know, well, sure, I'll be down. So when I get down there, she says, you know, I got a brand new Scrabble board here. I'd like to try it out. I said, you want to play? And I said, sure. I said, boy, I can take her, you know, like nothing. Because I work crossword puzzles and I know all those words. So we sat down and I was making words, you know, 10, I exaggerate, 5 words, you know, long. And all of a sudden, Clara whips out a cue. And she lays it on the board, and she says, 50 points. So, it's been that way ever since. Except I did win one time last week for the first time. So, Clara, I'm still gonna learn all those little tricks. And we always have a good time. I love you very much.
All right. Thank you, Thelma. Thelma, it does pay to have the Q.
Yeah.
Then you got to have the U with the Q, right? Anybody over here? Do you know, just kind of walk around back there. Maybe someone. Vivian from Wenatchee.
Yeah.
This is the Wenatchee table here.
Happy birthday, Clara. We've had a lot of good times together, and I've always enjoyed coming to Wenatchee and always tried to be over and see you, and we've had a lot of good conversations over the phone, and I hope you have many more years ahead of you.
Thank you, Vivian.
I guess so. For those who don't know me, I was that little neighborhood brat that lived across the street from the Lambs.
Yes.
And I probably spent about 90% of my time at their home.
You stole my cap gun, too.
Oh, you bring that up again, didn't you? Nice guy. I'm still not going to give it back to you.
Maybe I took yours.
But anyway, all the time I spent over there, I was quite a handful, I know that, and she managed to put up with me. And it's been a real pleasure and a privilege to know you all these years. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the guiding hand you lent to me during that time. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Jerry.
That wasn't going to be for 6 more months, and I was, for some reason, thinking that 6 months was going to be in July. And Grandma looked at me funny, and she said, well, you won't be able to take me. And I thought, I won't. She said, well, you'll be busy having your baby. But you really mean a lot to all of us, Grandma. And whether we show it like we should, or let you know how much we do appreciate you, you truly are appreciated, and we love you. You're a prime example of how we should live our lives. You're a very moral woman, and you've never let me down. I love you, Grandma.
Thank you, Lori. Well, Dean, I think it's almost time to cut the cake.
Is that right? All right. Oh, Mom wants to talk. This was her idea now.
Oh, they're. Okay. I told the kids not to embarrass me today, so they didn't even ask me to say anything. But I do want to thank everybody that came out today, and I really appreciate each and every one of you and the nice compliments I've gotten today. I don't think I'm worthy of them, but I do enjoy hearing it. And we've had a nice time, and to everyone that come and show their presence and appreciation today, I want to say thank you to everybody. God bless you all.
To you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Clara, happy birthday to you.
I hope you all saved your forks, because we're going to cut the cake now.
What are you doing? This is like great friends. Summer Yeah, go with my face.
I'm the end of the line on this part so far.
Okay, happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you.
Kristen,
Next time I see you, you have to remember your life, your family, and how it came back to you.
I remember the parties at your house.
I'm waiting for my 90th birthday.
How old are you?
70.
You are? You're the same age as Noel.
Yeah, I'm just a young kid. But on my 90th birthday, I'm going to
Well, I hope to live that long.
Well, I do too. Because I've been promising myself that for years and years.
Well, that's nice.
I think my cats are on out with me.
He said he couldn't stop around 5.
It was a nice party, wasn't it?
Everybody's wonderful. I can't believe it's so many years ago. Now here you are.
Connie, thanks for coming.
Yeah, well, they work all over.
But when Ronnie, when he started that circus deal,
I'm taking pictures. That's what
he started out like
every time I have
Whitey, and he's going down to Oregon. The next thing, got that run
See the little pansies there on your cake and that nice.
It's a good food.
Happy birthday, Mom.
How old are you today, Grandma?
I'm not going to say much. I said back to you over there.
Oh, I know, but you know, it's kind of like, since these things have the capability.
We're having a good time. I think everybody we invited came, including people from North Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
A few people in Yunnan.
Okay. Holy smokes. It's just something you don't see every day right there. Good Lord.